start the thing, and now we have to listen and wait for the thing to catch up. And
are we not having an Ian this time around?
We are not. Ian is not feeling well. So the thing with the thing is we have audio. All right. So now we can start on Dementia Radio and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have both members of Power Salad in the house.
Whoa! We
Captain Ambivalent.
Ta-da! We have Power and Salad in the house. Insane Ian is a little under the weather, not COVID related. So he will not be joining us this evening, unfortunately. But we are all here. Welcome to episode 569 of the Funny Music Podcast from May 13th, 2021. New Evil Cola, you'll burp fire. So, yes. Woo! All right, so we're here. There's a lot of people. Let's do a thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what? No, he's right.
And Wildcard, thank you for resubscribing to the Twitch channel. And Luke, what have you been up to?
Well, this past Friday night, myself and Kyle had a movie night where we watched two movies that we were talking about on the previous episode of Kyle and Luke Talk About Tunes. We watched Nothing But Trouble and the movie Freaked, starring Alex Winter. And rather than recap it all, I'll just say that we also this week recorded the next episode of Kyle and Luke Talk About Tunes, which is coming out this Sunday. And we kind of at the end of our episode do a quick Kyle gives his review of mainly talking about Nothing But Trouble because he had never seen it at all before. Well, he hadn't seen either before, but that was the one he was more interested to see what the hubbub was. So yeah, you can check that out this Sunday.
I can't wait because I love Nothing But Trouble. I absolutely adore that movie.
I don't remember if I've completely watched it beginning to end since the first time I saw it. It's kind of one of those things that I only kind of caught here and there, and I don't own it on VHS or DVD. But I'll say, having rewatched it, now I do want to get it on either DVD or Blu-ray, or at least, buy it to own it digitally, because if nothing else, just to sit there and watch all the parts with Digital Underground in it, it's like, it just gave me such warm feels. It was just so great. And there's
Dan Aykroyd, John Candy?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Chevy Chase, and Demi Moore. And it's like this weird junkyard apocalypse movie. It starts off as the most straight-laced 80s comedy for the first 10 minutes, and then it makes it just goes off in weird directions. But anyway,
Chevy Chase rolls through a stop sign and then gets sentenced to death, and it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But yeah, what was I going to say? I'm working on pitches for the Cartoon Network Shorts program. I have gathered a bunch of art. I made a bunch of color versions of art from my most recent animatic that I made with the characters Deanna and Darius. So I'm going to be using that art, as well as I ran some of my more recent art of those characters past Kyle to see which ones he thought were good enough to use in a pitch packet. And he kind of gave me some notes on that. So now I need to type up the copy that describes, the overall premise of them, and the specific short that I want to pitch to, see if they'd want to make it. It's all been in my head, for weeks / months / over a year since I had the initial idea for this thing. So I'm gonna type that up tonight and try to see if I can get the I'm gonna type up the copy. I'm gonna send it to Kyle, have him look it over to see if he has any thoughts or feelings on what I do, because he knows this stuff better than I I do, whatever. And then if I get notes back from him, I'm going to try to make my 3-page PDF pitch to send to them and hopefully get it sent off like tomorrow morning or something. And then I can finally gather the info I need to get my taxes done. And then as soon as that's sent off to the person who's doing my taxes, I will start working on my next pitch and basically keep working on various pitch ideas for various, shows and shorts until we hear that they aren't taking submissions anymore. So, but to me, getting this first one in is like the first big hurdle I need to overcome, just so that if we suddenly hear that they've, stopped taking submissions, at least I'll know I got one in there. I'll just say this because I didn't get a chance to talk about this on either of the other 2 podcasts I've recorded this week. Oh, that's another thing. Carrie and I finally recorded enough segments for a new Bad Rapport. So I don't know when I'll have the time to edit it. Probably not until like this coming, I don't know, middle of next week. I'll see if I have the time. But at the immediate moment, I don't have time to edit it. But so the other night, I made myself a plate of chicken nuggets, and just like 20 chicken nuggets in the microwave, and I happened to have from El Pollo Loco. I had gone there, and usually they give you these like little teeny cups that you can put the salsa in that are like just like big. But I guess they ran out of those cups, so I asked for salsa, and they said, "Well, we can give it to you, but it's like in kind of the size of what they put their proper guacamole in." Like these, cups that are like, yay big. So it was kind of like a little, much more than a thing. And I'm like, sure, yeah, give it to me. So I took it home, and, there was plenty left over. So I decided I'm going to take these chicken nuggets. I'll get a fork, put them on the fork, and then like completely submerge them in this guacamole, kind of a little bit spicy stuff, kind of go tink, 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 to kind of let it drip off there, and then just eat them. And I ate the whole plate, and this was just before I went to bed, and it was wonderfully tasty. So that night, between me going to bed and waking up the next day, I experienced more gas, both in forms of coming out of my mouth as burps and coming out of my butt as farts within, a 6-hour period of time than I've ever experienced in my whole life. I don't know what's in that El Pollo Loco stuff, and I've eaten it before with other things, and I never experienced this, but it was just all night. I was like, it wasn't like out of control, but I would like feel the pressure build up, and I just like wake up a little bit so that I could rip a fart and then try to fall back asleep, and then I would wake up a little bit, like do a really loud like Barney from The Simpsons belch, and then fall back asleep. And it was just bizarre. I'm like, I don't know what's happening to my body. So I guess what I'm saying is that it's very fortunate for Erica that she isn't in the apartment anymore to have experienced that and the aftermath. I mean, Hubert seems to have survived okay, but yeah, that was interesting as hell. So that's my unique story of what happened to me this week. What have you done since the past week?
Well, I think I fixed the FuMP website. I think I opened a new ticket with my host, and they looked into it, and they said, "Well, you've gotten 6,000 hits this morning. I think the server is just being overloaded." And I was like, the site's not that busy. So I set up a new distribution with a Cloudflare to do some load balancing and stuff. And the site's been stable ever since. So maybe that is the case. But I'm starting to wonder, because the FuMP was down, all my websites were down, madmusic.com was down, and drdemento.com was down. All pretty much at the same time. So now I'm wondering if there was like somebody with like a grudge against comedy music launching a denial of service attack against all of us.
I wonder who that would be.
I don't know. We need to come up with somebody we can blame, like just, I don't know, pick a name, Larry or something. Like, damn it, Larry! Every time something goes wrong, it's just Larry's fault. So,
Dog.
What was it?
Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Dog hates comedy musicians.
So, the other thing I did was I made a whole bunch of these. This is the new BS de Resistance album. This is just a comp I made on regular paper. The actual ones are on really thick cardstock. I mean, it's not really thick. It's the same cardstock I use for the FuMP albums and stuff. But when you get a 16-page booklet, it's tight going into that jewel case. So, Chris, I just want to confirm, you didn't want people to actually be able to take them out of the jewel case to read them, right? I mean, it's
No. All those
decorative.
words, tons of words and letters. No.
Okay,
That should be
so-
like sandwiched in there.
Perfect. So
Never
it's
to be, because
just
when you do,
purely
it's gonna go,
decorative. So,
it's going to come out, if you can get it, it's going to go blah, like that,
and you'll never get it back in. So.
Yeah.
This was my first 16-page booklet, and it came out nice. It looks really nice, but man, my arm is honestly sore from using the paper cutter.
Oh, the paper cutter.
The paper cutter, yeah, because I had to bear down on it to cut through all the paper. So.
Just think of it as Marjorie Taylor Greene's neck.
So, Captain Ambivalent, welcome back. What have you been up to?
Thank you. I've been trying to finish mixing my next album as lawnmower season begins. Outside of old Ambivalent Manor, and
I know those pains.
yes, you all feel the pain. And I got moved into a new Ambivacave just for this evening because I couldn't keep stealing Batman's 1966 Batcave anymore with a clean conscience.
I like the new Ambivalent Cave. It's nice.
Yeah, it's more me. I can always improve it, but that's good. So yeah, that's about it. I've been getting onto Twitter and stuff.
Cool.
Actually, like trying to do publicity, which I am learning exactly how much I historically stink at. And yeah.
One of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Power Salad, what have you guys been up to? We have Power and Salad on the show tonight. So
This is true. Hi, Craig. I haven't seen you in a long time.
No. How are you doing?
I'm doing. Yeah, that's what it is. What are we doing? I have no idea. What did we do?
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
Personally, I have not been into doing much of excitement. Finished a jigsaw puzzle, 1,000 pieces. I'm quite proud of that. And doing a little writing and cartooning, and that's the gist of it.
very cool. I love that you have the B movie poster on the wall behind you.
I know, yes. It's our treasured family heirloom.
Excellent. So, Chris, anything to report from Texas?
I just got back the other night. It still sucks. That doesn't suck. No. I mean, but I did go to another secret location. I was really mum about because I'm afraid of being travel shamed in these COVID times. So, but I did get to spend a week with my granddaughter.
Nice.
And my daughter, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, really wonderful. Had an absolute laptop meltdown in El Paso, Texas on the way. 'Cause, just one little quickie for a client. Great. Just a little, we're here for you. When we return to the line, we'll be, blah, 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 blah. And it's like Windows just started getting slower and slower and slower.
It does that.
What is happening? I clicked something 5 minutes ago and my battery ran out. It's like, what is going? So I bought 2 laptops over the weekend. Took 2 laptops back over the weekend. Spent an hour and a half on tech support, a paid tech support call with the audio program manufacturer that I use for voiceover stuff on the road, and got nowhere. And I finally decided to try a Windows recovery to roll it back to like the week before we left, and all of a sudden, it worked halfway decent. It's like, what in the world has gone on here? So
whatever porn site you visited between then and now, don't go back there.
That's it. By the way, speaking of that, you know how I'm on this tear about I really can't stand this stupid, smarmy thing with branding and advertising where everything is now an adverb. There's freshly, there's womply, there's, computerly, whatever it is.
Yeah, the reason for that is because they've run out of .coms, so they have to make up words so that they can get the .com.
So how long is it going to be before we get a porn site called Glee? So come to Glee.com and for all the best.
I'll bet you there's one. Let's try.
There's got to be.
Fuckly.com. There is a fuckly.com and it is a porn site. All right, so there you go, folks.
There it is. I knew it had to be in keeping with the branding of today.
Yep.
Leukemialy.com. Yeah.
We could have a website with all the various stats that have to do with the FuMP that Lee sites could do. So it could be FuMP Lee.
Hey!
FuMP Lee.
We can make it fump.lee. So we can have Lee take over all like the stats and I'll we can train him in Google Analytics and let him figure out all of that nonsense because I don't understand it.
He would have his own TLD, Lee. Get it? Which is to say that no, I wasn't on any porn sites on that computer and I wasn't doing anything else. Which is to say I wasn't doing anything interesting either. So there you go.
Oh, just to interject, because Chris, to alleviate your whatever you said it was, potential travel shame or whatever, something else that happened this week is I'll cut out all the details to save time, but I managed to figure out a way to go to the Midwest and see my family for the first time since MarsCon of 2020. So,
oh my gosh!
So yeah, that would be March 1st or 2nd was the last time I saw any of them. So
so it's been over a year. Been over a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So in about I had my first Christmas away from my family ever in my life this past Christmas. So, and it's like I'm not in a state of like I have to see them or I'm gonna go nuts. It's like I'm fine. I'm just thinking of it in terms of first of all, I am far past the 2 weeks of getting my second shot. So I'm fully vaccinated. And everyone in my family and everyone in my immediate bubble here is fully vaccinated. And it's like, I don't say this to be like gloom and doom, but, there is still a decent percentage of chance that FuMPFest might not happen and might have to be, at home. We don't want it to be, but it might be. So I don't want to just say like, well, I'll just wait until FuMPFest and see them. And then if FuMPFest doesn't happen, it'll be like, I waited 3 months for nothing. So, so I'm like, all right, I figured out a way with my work schedule. It's going to be like a quick 6-day trip. I'm going to spend a couple days hanging out with Carrie and Alexandra and Josh, and then a couple days hanging out with my mom, my sister, and my brother JT, and his wife Susan, and my nephew Max. And somewhere in there, I'm sure I'll be able to, see Stephanie at least for like a meal to hang out with her. So it'll be like kind of, and then I don't know.
Go to Hot Indian. Yeah. Oh, but that's in Minneapolis. Never mind.
And I'll just bring like my Ian puppet with me and just go up to Sarah's house to the window like, hello. She'll be in bed. She won't be able to get up and stop me. Hello. Until she calls the cops and then I'll run away.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, that was cool. Anyway, we do that.
That's a good thing.
So Chris and or Craig, give us a quick intro to this song and we'll give it a listen. Take it.
It's a song about why I like Simon's barbecued kettle chips. I wanted to do a song which was complete nonsense, which kind of went along the My Cat is Afraid of the Vacuum Cleaner kind of insanity type vibe, and this is what came out of it.
Oh boy.
All right, here is Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips by Power Salad.
This is my entry in the Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips contest. There was nothing in the rules that said my entry could not be a song. And man, oh man, I love those chips. Best damn chips in the whole wide world. Yum, mighty yum, 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 yum. This is my entry in the Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips contest. There was nothing in the rules that said I couldn't use a little salty language. don't believe I crossed the line. And Christian Bale said it's okay. Yum, mighty yum, 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 yum. This is my entry in the Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips contest. There was nothing in the rules that said I couldn't make false statements about Christian Bale. And while I'm on the subject, Brahmakura Fishnuka. Yum, mighty yum, 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 yum. This is my entry in the Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips contest. There was nothing in the rules that said I couldn't say an evil incantation. You may be feeling weak now and hear buzzing in your ears. Yum, mighty yum, 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 yum. This is my entry in the Why I Like Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips contest. There was nothing in the rules that said I couldn't fill your car with lots of hornets. That'll cause you to make a wrong turn and drive 80 miles to a customized hellscape modeled after the movie Pan's Labyrinth and that Eric Roberts film about the talking cat. A place where it rains spirograph pins, where your phone is filled with hedgehog memes and fire ants, where you hold a gender reveal party for the creature under your bed and no one bothers to check the registry, where you just can't tell if the raisin bread is old or if that's just the way the raisin bread is, where the only single sound for miles is the drumming of Mirror Universe Buddy Rich. A horrible drummer but a really nice guy, where your old high school geometry teacher reduces you to a pool of tears, which your neighbor converts into a jacuzzi, where affluent zombie chipmunks send you nasty letters that...
I'm sorry, but the contest rules expressly prohibit the sending of nasty letters by affluent zombie chipmunks. You are hereby disqualified. And the bag of Simon's Barbecued Kettle Chips goes to the runner-up, Christian Bale. Any words, Mr. Bale?
Yum, freaking yum, 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 yum.
Well said.
You guys got ripped off.
I know.
So my favorite chips now.
At the end was just Graham Chapman, and he did it.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, there's definitely a My Cat is Afraid of the Vacuum Cleaner vibe in that song, especially towards the end when it just kind of,
Yes.
it
had a lot of ideas which I wasn't sure what to do with. I loved the idea of Mirror Universe Buddy Rich, but I didn't know how to do it, so it just seemed like throw it in here.
So, I could see this. I have a whole bunch of ideas I don't know what to do with. Let's put them all together in a song and see what happens.
Yep.
We have a long history of utilizing Buddy Rich for comedic effect, going way back to the Zot Theater days on radio in college. There was a sketch we did in Zot Theater that was lampooning these incredible cards. These, hey son, I think there really was such a product, like nature facts on cards and whatnot. Did you know the ibex is a creature from, from Africa? And it goes, ours were, did you know the first president of the United States was a mutant? Really, Dad? Wow, tell me more. My son, he's so gullible. Hey, here's some incredible cards. And it goes to the end, hey, Dad, can I have some more incredible cards? Well, I'm sorry, son, but you see, last night, Buddy Rich broke into our house and stole them all. Oh, order yours today. Or that kind of thing. Or we had a Charlie Brown thing where he's freaking out. In fact, this predates our This was early shadowings of our Cirque du Soleil sketch about, Miss Othmar, Charlie Brown, and all that. Charlie Brown starts freaking out. I'm sorry, Miss Othmar, are you saying something? Speak English, woman! Tonight, a very special You're Going Insane, Charlie Brown, with special guest Buddy Rich as the executioner.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I didnn't forget.
And then there's the Mr. McPoodle thing. Where it's like the face of jazz drummer Buddy Rich.
Oh, that's right.
That will become all too clear.
Yes, now you see the progression as we...
Buddy Rich is a running gag for Power Salad. Who knew?
Exactly. And from before he died, too, actually. Strangely enough.
I was in California visiting my grandparents, and they dropped us off at Grauman's Chinese Theater, and Buddy Rich's tour bus was there. I don't know if that has anything to do with my obsession with Buddy Rich, but I saw his bus there.
Now, if that bus could talk,
yes, so it would be R-rated.
Yeah, you're right. You're not my kind of people. Not at all. So for you Seinfeld fans, that's where that came from. We're back with a new tune, and there's another one in the queue for June that'll be coming up on the FuMP, and also one that's in my email that will be recorded as soon as I can clear my deck and my brain. And what's that one called again? Oh, it's called Crosby, Stills, Dishwasher, Safe and Young.
So Craig, for this song, did you give him any guidance for the music or anything, or did you
Ukulele.
just give him the lyrics? Ukulele?
All I said was ukulele.
Okay.
With a question mark.
Yes.
Which I turned into a period because I had one hanging on the wall. That's the only reason. Or else I would have had to try to do a ukulele sound on guitar, and I just happen to have one. Can't play it, but I have one, so I guess I could figure out. Better write it in the key of C because it's not as much as I can get here. So
I've never played a ukulele. I've always wanted to try.
Well, it's not a guitar. That's the first thing you'll find out. It's like, oh. Because when people talk about tuning a ukulele and they go, my dog has fleas, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you singing my dog has fleas? Where does that come from? What does it mean? And I'm a musician, almost half a century. I have been playing bass for half a century. That's, bleh. But what is this? My dog has fleas. And that's when I realized that's the melody that you tune ukulele to.
Wasn't that like in Looney Tunes and stuff?
It's what now?
Wasn't that used in Looney Tunes quite a bit, or like old timey cartoons where you'd see someone tuning a guitar? I seem to remember picking it up from cartoons. I don't know.
I think there's that one thing where Bugs Bunny would play all the notes, and then the last note would cause the explosion.
Yeah, that's a ding 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 ding.
Yeah. Yep.
But I've heard the My Dog Has Fleas too, and I don't know from where. And I don't have a ukulele. I've never tried tuning one for sure.
No, you dumb rabbit!
There you go.
FuMPCast, now with orchestral bells.
We always needed more orchestral bells.
Yes. I got a fever, and the only cure is more orchestral bell. Crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, I think we're back in the salad mode with this one. I'd like to think so. Anyway, you never know.
Cool. Yes, I enjoy the salad mode.
A la salad mode. Salad a la mode.
Salad a la mode. No, I'll just take the a la mode. You can keep the salad.
Man.
Do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Do we? Our CDs are really affordable on Bandcamp because they're in my closet, and I gotta, I would like to, have you have them, folks. So powersalad.bandcamp.com, and hopefully at some point we'll get around to another album.
That is a great sales pitch. I have these. I would like you to have these now.
Yes, please have this, because I have too many and I have more CDs coming and I can't put them all where they are.
Yeah, I just shipped a whole bunch of them to Chris out this morning, so he's going to have to make room.
This one, by the way, is the cassette master for vaudeville.
What do you have? Is there anything special you have to do to master a cassette?
Not really. I mean, I did have the audio mastered by an engineer to sound good on tape. But basically, I just did, okay, this is side A, this is side B, and I've just got a professional, it's an old one, a professional rack mount CD player, which I have going directly into my deck, which, Craig, you would recognize because it's actually one model up from what we used to have at the station, the radio station.
Room A.
Yeah, exactly. Which doesn't exist anymore. Well, the room exists, but the radio station's gone. So
yeah.
They moved halls. They moved into more. Spacious digs in another hall on campus.
No longer Gazzetta Hall.
Yeah, Gazzetta Hall. It's no longer. So it's in our memories now.
Yep.
All right,
I have a question for Chris, but this would probably end up better being a conversation off of our show. But so now that my roommate Erica has moved out, I have a little bit more room in my apartment, and I am once I have the time, which I want to be relatively soon, I want to figure out a way to set up a permanent or semi-permanent place for me to record my voice for things, and for potentially doing voiceover for animation, because I want to kind of recommit myself to making that a track of something I could try to do to make money outside of my delivery job. So it's like, do you know of any places that basically I can Acme do a thing, and then a big crate will show up and it'll be like, sound booth for your home here, that's not insanely expensive or something?
Well, here's the thing: buy a crate, fill the inside with foam, sound booth.
That's usually what a lot of people do. There are varying degrees of it works or not that you get when you go like that. Yes, there are. You got everything up to the insanely expensive part. I mean, yeah, if somebody will get a whisper room delivered, no problem. But they're however much they are. I don't even know how much they are. $6-7 grand, I think, something like that.
Wow.
But, there's also Gretchen booths, and I don't know how much those run, but I can send you linky links.
Yeah, please send me some linky links, because in my mind I was thinking I'm just gonna go to friggin' Home Depot and buy some either super thick cardboard or super thin pieces of wood and just try to makeshift build my own little space for either out in the main living room or in what used to be Erica's bedroom, and kind of make it half in the closet and half, out, or I don't know. So
really, all you need are those big bubbles from Get Smart, and with the microphone.
Yep. Cone of Silence.
Cone of Silence. Thank you. I couldn't think of what it was called.
Honestly, a really well stuffed walk-in closet does surprisingly well, as long as you don't have a lot of noise going on the outside, like lawnmowers and stuff. Doesn't do too bad. I mean, I recorded a lot of nice, lucrative e-learning work last week in my daughter's walk-in closet. So, there's always a way. So I'll get with you offline about that.
Yes. All right. Well, let's move on with the show.
Let's move on and do some news and stuff.
This is the FuMP.
Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened. They're all dead within the Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened. Panic wheeze were flowing when Ted's made the worst time afraid, and this cake wasn't made. And all our pants we were crapping. No one survived inside the Zoom where it happened.
A box of the Capri Sun. We drank the whole box, yeah, I know.
It was dumb.
Then after that we had a couple Cokes. We started laughing, telling knock-knock jokes. He said,
knock knock.
I said, who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. Who?
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
But I could not pee. Couldn't control it, yo, that's right, I peed. I know everyone is laughing at me. H-J-K, element. I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants.
Well, I'm cruising inside of my pumped up ride, got my hoodie pulled high, but I'm going yellow eyes. Rocking through the desert just to see what we can see. All the Jawas in the house say Ootini. All the Jawas in the house say Ootini. I'm going Jawa.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
In the news, Confluence, a science fiction convention in Pittsburgh, has been canceled for this year. However, they are having an online event that weekend instead, taking place July 23rd through 25th. This is an online musical event. They did one last year. I forgot what they called it, but Con Musical, I think, or something like that. This one's called Come On to Ents, something. Will feature a pre-recorded sets by Terrence Chua and Nightwatch Paradox, live set and songwriting presentation by Grant Livingston, plus other sets by Sarah Shea, the Fifth Sister, Kiva, Barbara Carrick, Kenny Young and the Eggplants, and Amy Englehart, with more to be announced, plus open filking and a whole bunch more filk programming. The event is going to be free, but donations to the con will be appreciated. The Zoom info and link will be published on the Confluence website and their Facebook event page when it's ready. Their website is confluence-sff.org. If you just search for Confluence and sci-fi, you'll find it. All right. Killy Dwyer is producing a show for dogs, which she calls Doggotainment. Killy says, this interactive online theatrical experience for you and your dog is presented by the Dawn to Clown Festival and is a digital show that will lay the ground for my in-person Doggotainment experience launching here in September. Doggotainment will be presented on Zoom on May 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, and June 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Ticket link and more info is at sourgrapesproductions.com/Doggotainment. And she says discounts and comps are available if you are unable to afford a ticket right now. Just contact them and ask. No questions asked. And Richard Cheese sings Viva Las Vegas during the opening credits of the new movie Army of the Dead in a duet with singer Alison Crow. His song is featured in the first 15 minutes of the movie, which you can find for free on YouTube. Army of the Dead hits theaters on Friday, May 14th, and arrives on Netflix on Friday, May 21st.
Zack Snyder, I think.
Yes. And the Logan Awards are still accepting nominations. If you would like to nominate your favorite song from 2020, go to LoganAwards.com. I think they're only going to be open for another week or so. I believe the 28th is the last day. Not sure.
Yeah, which is why I'm trying to get the the new bad report out before then, so I can give that a plug before it goes away.
Makes sense. All right, and Luke, anything before tour dates?
Nope.
All right. Usual tour dates: Escape from the Secret Lab featuring Dr. Pinkerton on Sundays, Steve Goody on Thursdays, and Carla Ulbrich on Fridays, all online at their respective places. And birthdays coming up next Wednesday, the 19th. TV's Kyle.
Hey.
Kyle. All right, that's it for news. That's it for tour dates. Captain Ambivalent. Welcome back. Give us a quick intro to this song. We'll give it a listen.
All right. Well, this is one of my earlier songs. Digging into the back catalog is the universal question, are we there yet? Inspired by visits by my cousins with their then quite little kids. And I played it for the kids, and they began singing it incessantly. And their parents called me on the cell phone, like, halfway back to their house so that the kids could sing it to me. And so this you're going to show the studio version was what was on the came out in the feed Tuesday, and you're going to show the video version, which is live. The music part is live. The video part is also live, but it was kind of squished up a little bit to get it to go with the music.
All right.
If that makes sense. So,
Here is Are We There Yet by Captain Ambivalent.
Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Now my sister has crossed the invisible line that I drew down the middle of the train seat, and I told her not to touch me, but she is holding her finger an inch from my face. Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? If you kids don't stop asking if we are there, I will turn this accordion around and go home. I don't want to hear another word out of either of you while we ride the railroad. Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Daddy? Are we there yet? Oh, please stop asking, we will be there soon.
Excellent. I forgot to turn people's volumes back up. So the video, for those of you on the feed, he's like attached a camera to a train and it was riding around the house, which is really cool. It's a neat idea.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of, well, it was pandemic lockdown. I was trying to do something creative without leaving the house. And, that scene in Close Encounters, like where the guy gets getting possessed by the aliens and he tears up his whole house to make this giant model of the mountain. And
yes,
it was kind of like that.
Well, it's a great idea. I may have to steal it, but I don't have any trains, so that's going to be
that would be a problem.
So what was the inspiration for this song?
Oh gosh, I don't know if it was just specific. I think it was just being around a bunch of little kids and just thinking about, they'd had to drive like 2 hours to get to my house or so, or more, and it just sort of popped in. And then because of course it could also be, it has a service meaning, and then it has deeper levels because you can take it up to a cosmic level or political level or whatever, pandemic level. That's right, Chris's mind is being blown even as we speak.
Wow, man. Deep.
Yeah.
And it is quite the earworm. I could totally see kids singing this for like 2 hours in the car.
So
yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else to ask you about the song. I dig it. What key is the song in?
G.
G. Okay.
When I first started out, almost all my songs were in G because that was the only key that I could figure out how to play on the accordion.
Oh, interesting.
And as I've gone on and gradually leveled up in my accordion skills, I have branched out into different keys, such as C and D and F and A.
And he's working on B.
E.
D, C, W, R, and B.
B flat I got some, but just like every year we just add more keys.
Yeah, you people who do music write your song in keys. That's funny. No, I actually do. I actually write my song in like proper keys and whatnot. And sometimes there's even a key change. Not often, but sometimes there is.
Ooh.
In a rap song, there's a key change in a rap song. Figure that out.
That's sweet. That takes extra skill. Well, and then of course as time goes on, you kind of get into what I call second puberty, and your voice starts to deepen a little bit again. So then you have to learn new keys because
you can't sing those anymore.
Yeah, everything down.
Yeah. Shoebox has run into that problem. Worm Quartet, because some of his older songs he just can't sing them anymore because they're in too high of a key. So he's like transposed them down, and he had to Thankfully the way he does the music, it's fairly simple. to just transpose everything down to whatever key he wants to do it in. But he's had to do it for several songs now.
Oh yeah, bunches. Well, somebody was telling me that like when Jethro Tull went on tour, they had a ringer just to hit the high notes.
Oh, really?
They didn't transpose everything down, but just when they got to a high note, this other guy in the background would jump in.
Oh, that's funny.
I know one of the guys from Styx got in the band because of his ability to do that. Like they needed him for Lady, and it was like that's what got him in the band.
That's a true story. Yeah, you're right.
I saw Billy Joel once perform "Innocent Man," and he kind of pretended to sing the high notes, but then at the end he just kind of shut up, and you could see that someone else was doing it. So he let people in on the joke.
Oh, okay. I always wanted to do a parody of that song called "Impotent Man" because I thought the high notes would work well, but.
I've always wanted to write a sketch, and this would work better as a visual sketch than an audio, Circus So What type thing. Like I can picture on Saturday Night Live. There's this guy in the Madison, Wisconsin to Milwaukee areas where he mainly works. His name is Pat McCurdy, and he makes funny songs. And from what I can tell, he basically figured out like a long time ago, like sometime in the late 80s or mid 90s or somewhere in there. Like he would perform at these like kind of bar pub type establishments in Madison for all of the students, and he came up with these songs that they liked and were popular. So like all the drunk students that would show up every week like would learn these songs just from showing up so often. So it would get to the point where it would turn into like these everyone is singing along with all these songs they all love so much, and then each year, as one set of students graduates, another set of students comes in, and all the other students are like, "Oh, you got to come out and you see this Pat McCurdy guy." And it's like the circle of life. He just had this continuous, he always had new people coming in that would introduce these songs, so he could just perform these same. I mean, he makes other new music too, but he was basically making a living going to like the bars in Madison and Milwaukee, doing these same songs over and over. And I know he's still out there doing it because he was doing some like quarantine shows like several months ago. Stephanie was watching them. Anyway, the reason why the sketch idea is I've seen him perform so much, and like the students know all these songs so well that he'd just be like, he'd play that first opening chord. It's like, St. Paul said the thing, da, 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 and like everyone would like start cheering, and then he would all immediately start singing along. So I wanted the sketch to be like starting like that, where you hear an audience singing along, and then like these little short songlets, because I wouldn't, and then be like, all right, now the next song is this, and then like each time it's like you sing it, and then like, and then it finally gets to the point where he just goes like, ding beer, and like they all start singing, and then he like goes off and he's checking his cell phone, and he's like, he's eating a sandwich, he's stuff, and like the audience is all like they're filling in all the rest of the song, and he comes back, thank you.
Well, Luke, there's no reason why Cirque du Soleil can't do video sketches. We don't have to limit ourselves to audio now. I know we're in 4 different corners of the United States. It's hard.
I didn't survive this quarantine to not travel out to Austin and invade Chris's house against his will so we could record another album.
At some point, we were talking to Captain Ambivalent, though.
Yes.
I like the train. I like the train.
I like the train, too. I used to have.
Excellent.
I spent a lot of time playing with my father's trains in the basements, and then I destroyed one.
And then you got banned, I'm sure.
No, it was. They were his trains from when he was a kid. These were the old like 1950s metal solid big trains.
That's what I have.
We had them. I had them set up on a ping pong table, so they were up elevated off the ground, and I was playing with them, and it went a little too fast, and it went off the edge and fell onto the cement floor of the basement, and it shattered into millions of pieces. Like the biggest piece was like a centimeter. I mean, it just exploded, and I was terrified that my father was going to freak out. And he looked at the pile of pieces on the ground and just started laughing. He's like, "I can't believe this happened," And we tried to replace it, but all the replacement engines were plastic, and they weren't strong enough to carry the metal trains and the rest of the train. So I ended up just putting them away, and I don't think I ever played with them again.
Oh, that's a very sad story.
It is.
My dad had multiple engines, and there were redundancies built in.
Nice.
But you know who else loves trains is Dr. Demento.
He does, yes.
If you were to post that video in the Dr. Demento Facebook group, and I would hope and assume it would get his attention.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, definitely post that. Yeah, he would love that.
Cool.
So is there anything you'd like to plug?
I would just like to plug, check out my back catalog and social medias and stuff, and the hub for all that is CaptainAmbivalent.com, and that'll take you everywhere else.
All right. Let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio. www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, "This week on Challenge of the FuMPCast, the battle of the year, month, day, whatever. Captain Ambivalent versus the insane power of Ian Salad." Thank you, Draconis. He told me to read that like the announcer of Super Friends, and I haven't heard it in so long, I can't remember what the guy sounded like.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, him. So, meanwhile, all I know is he had that like weird vibrato, like, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice. You know.
Oh, wait, are there more feedbacks?
No, that's it.
Okay, so this week, another thing I did this week that I didn't talk about is I went to Downtown Disney for the first time to shop at the Star Wars Trading Post and World of Disney, just because I haven't set foot on Disney property since like February of 2020. So that, things are cool, and I bought. Let me show you what I bought. Because every so often there's a product that just has Luke Ski written all over it, and that would be this particular maquette. For those of you listening to the podcast, this is a little maquette of the top of Jafar's staff from Aladdin, and sitting on top of it is Iago, and the eyes light up to glow. So the thing is, they rarely ever make any Iago merchandise. So as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, that was the reason I drove an hour to get out here to get that. But I also filmed a Rothschild style ad for the Star Wars Trading Post that is up on my TikTok page. So it's like, come to the Star Wars Trading Post where you'll see things, other things. And so I don't want to spoil the jokes. If you want to go look at it on my TikTok or I posted it on my other social media as well. So look for that from the past week. But somebody left a comment on my TikTok asking, "Why do you sound like Fred from Scooby-Doo?" And I said, because I'm a lame white guy, I don't know. And she's like, "No, I mean, you specifically sound like Frank Welker." And I'm like, this is news to me. If I sound like Frank Welker, I think I'd be making a lot more money and have a lot of actual voiceover gigs.
I'll have to look up that video and let you know.
I mean, I did my song Scoob, where I am, speaking as Freddie Jones in the, intro and outro of that song. And even I don't think I sound like Freddie Jones, and it sounds like me doing the inflections of Freddie Jones, with my own stupid voice, so I don't know. Anyway, that was the thing.
So we have a third song.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Ian.
Yes, Ian, who is not here because he's under the weather. Vaccine Day, Go Get Vaccinated by Insane Ian. Here's that.
You gotta go get vaccinated.
Stuck in a pandemic, 'cause of the spreading disease. It'd be over if you just wear a mask, you dork. Stopping illness with the greatest of ease. But I've made appointments at a campus locale. I'm gonna get my shots and then it's all over, pal. As long as you get yours and the others do too. So don't you screw it up, screw it up, screw it up, screw it up. Hey! Don't you trust Dr. Fauci? Take the shot.
Gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey! Don't talk anti-vax to me. Get your shot.
You gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey, so if you please, get your damn shot so I can go to the movies. Hey, it's vaccine day. By the time you hear the side effects, it's already too late. One grows more nipples and one loses hair. One guy's on fire and another inflates. They're all making claims about their own government. No one's getting smarter, they're all stirring dissent. The never-ending spree of these fake conspiracies. You won't spawn this nanobots, spawn some nanobots, spawn some nano. Hey! You say you think they're tracking me? Take the shot.
Gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey! Did they inject me with 5G? Get the shot.
You gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey, don't be surprised if after the shot you don't have lasers for your eyes. Hey, it's vaccine day. You think that they'll track you using government drones, but then you tweet about it right there from your iPhone. You'll never get to see your extended family unless you get your Fauci ouchie, get your Fauci ouchie, get your ouchie. Hey! Man, you think it's hard to breathe? Take the shot.
Gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey! Man, you think I am a sheep? Get your shot.
Gotta go get vaccinated.
Hey! And when it's done, they'll give you a sticker or a sucker just for fun. Hey! It's vaccine day!
Once again, I forgot to unmute everybody at the end of the song, so sorry about that. It's funny because with this song, I believe we talked about this while Ian was on the show. Is that this was one of those? Every so often, I get an idea for a parody, and I think, hey, I wonder if somebody's recorded that. I should play it on Manic Mondays, and I go looking for it, and sometimes they have, and sometimes they haven't. And I was like, I wonder if anyone did a parody of this song called "Get 'Em Vaccinated" or something like that. And there were a couple of parodies about this song. One of them was about the vaccine, but it was called "Keep 'Em Separated," and I was like, it was right there. Come on, So I think we talked about that when Ian was on the show, either not last time, but like the time before. And he mentioned that he was doing this song, so I'm glad it finally hit the FuMP because I really enjoy it.
That was well done.
And people asking in the chat who did the music, and I don't know. I think it was either Ben or like Jace or Austin or one of those people. But I don't know. We can ask Ian. We can find out. We have that power. I'm sorry, what were you guys going to say?
I was going to say that Ian had been lamenting about the fact that he put a great deal of effort into his original song, Delivery Boy, and then he knocked out this song real quick based on, what's the original group again? Was that...
Offspring?
This one was The Offspring. I think.
Offspring. That's what I thought it was. Okay, so yeah, just that, The Offspring did their thing, like a little bit, riffing on this, and then Ian decided, well, I'm going to finish the song, and then Ian finished it, and just kind of, got it done fairly quickly, and that that Delivery Boy didn't get, the attention or the response that he was hoping for, and then Vaccine Day, did get a lot more attention. Dr. Demento played it. It made the the top 10, and it's like he was just talking about the phenomenon of making two songs at about the same time, where you put a huge amount of effort into one and not as much effort into the other, and then the one that required much less effort is the one that becomes popular. And it happens. The one time the time that sticks out the most in my mind for me was I did my song about the TV show Lost, like right after between its third and fourth season, when it was like at the height of its popularity and critical acclaim. And I did my surf song called "Everybody Get Lost," which I thought was phenomenal and like super epic. And I put that out, I think, in January that year. And then in February, as my kind of follow up, like, this is something I can just throw together with beats on this, free beats CD I got when I got this software. I did Too Much Stuff. And then nobody cared about the Lost song, and Too Much Stuff was almost the number one song of the year on Dr. D. It got beaten by Robert Lund's Save Us Obama, which makes sense because it was 2008.
Right.
So, I mean, plus it's also a really good song. So yeah. But yeah. Have there been any? Has that happened to you, Devo?
Oh yeah, lots of times. I can't think of any offhand because I wasn't thinking about it beforehand. But yeah, I know it's funny. It's like I'll put a lot of time and effort into a song and just nothing, and then like I'll crank out a song in a weekend, and and that's my biggest hit. Probably Dinky McDiddly Boots is probably the best example of that. Because I did that mostly as an inside joke and thought it was going to be a throwaway song because Shoebox did the thing on my Facebook feed and I wrote the song and I had to rush it to get it done in time for for Con on the Cob, where he and I were both performing, because I wanted to perform it live on stage in front of him. And Chris, you were at that performance. That's right.
That's right.
And so I'm up there on stage performing the song for the first time. And that song is one of my biggest hits. People love that song. It's become a staple of my live shows. And I figured it's an inside joke. It was a quick little thing I did. I never thought it would be, as big as it is. But the funniest thing is listening to people tell me how much they love that song because nobody can remember the name of it. They'll come up to me after the show and like, oh, I love that song, Doodly Flutily Snoot, whatever, So that's my favorite part of it. But yeah, I've had that happen. The first song we ever that got played on the Dr. Demento show was "I'm Bored." And Dave and I came up with that song on Friday night at an event that we were at that was exceedingly boring. We recorded it Saturday morning and sent it off to Dr. Demento either that Saturday or that Monday. I forget which. So, I mean, it was literally just a quick overnight thing that we did. And it was the first song that we got played. So
I think for me it was Corned Beef and Cabbage. Because
that makes sense, yeah.
I was just, sitting there going like, I cannot believe this stupid, unbelievable peanut butter jelly thing has all these views. It's not even a song. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. It was me, kind of feeling sorry for myself that I do my symphonic creations can't get in notice or anything like that. And it, peanut butter jelly time. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to do the same goddamn thing. And
well, Chris, I told you my idea for this and what I'm planning to do, so
yes,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So I probably kind of, I wrote down hot in the pot. In fact, did I even write it down? I may not even have written it down. I may have just gone hot in the pot. Mustard and rye bread. Don't forget the horseradish now. And then I did the digital slice and dice and turn it into that, and the rest is history, as they say.
There's even an animated video, or parts of it are animated.
I should do another one as a food trilogy.
You should.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do some teasing.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Dave Stagner.
Woo!
And Tuesday's song is by Bad Beth and Beyond. And this week's Spotify playlist topic is body parts. Because I can.
Did you know that there is no name for the back of the knees?
Really? I don't know. Is there a name for the back of the elbow? This part here?
Steve. We call it Steve.
Steve. All right. So, Captain Ambivalent, plug yourself one more time.
Alrighty. CaptainAmbivalent.com. Also, Facebook, newly on Twitter, and liking up more than Facebook. And Bandcamp, Captain Ambivalent. All that stuff. YouTube, Captain Ambivalent.
Power Salad, plug yourself one more time.
Well, as usual, we are at powersalad.bandcamp.com. We do have a powersalad.com, but I have been really lousy about updating it. So it's there if you like. Just as a side note, the BS crew has a new show. It's My Friend Lisa with an Lyssa. It's now sketch comedy with without the politics, but our second episode is dropping in 2 days, and the first one is now on Audible and Apple Podcasts. It's myfriendlisa.libsyn.com or wherever you get your podcasts, and it's a slap-happy kind of thing. Same cast, same everything, less Trump.
That sounds great. I'll have to look that up. All right, and Insane Ian is at insaneian.bandcamp.com. And that, as they say, is a show. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And there's some other people.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
Damn it, do that again. Sorry.
Would you like a fucking podcast or a non-fucking podcast?
Thank you.
What do you think?